Broadcasting to the public. I don't see it up on the Hangout page yet. It should be pretty soon though. Okay, hi guys. This is part 2 of Programmer Genesis stories. I've just set this up because there are some people who couldn't join us last time who wanted to. Though I don't see any of them around, so I've wrangled a couple more Musader people around to, I guess, talk about their humble beginnings as programmers and what have you. So, how are you guys doing? Would you like to introduce yourselves? Maybe?
Oh.
Don't all start at once.
I'm the crazy guy who sits on IRC all day insulting people.
These guys are also from the Allegro channel. And I have Tuck's card open too, so if it's not very lively, we can just all play that instead.
I don't have any internet in here.
You have to go to a room with internet. Person on your phone. Okay, so I feel like this is Jeopardy. These slides look like Jeopardy stuff almost. But the first question is, how did you discover programming?
Well, for me, my parents had gotten me an HTML book after I'd made up a website, and then after that I kind of got bored with writing JavaScript, so I started learning C on my own. People were like, holy crap! And then I remember the first program I wrote was a program to search a file for a string, and it was really slow because I didn't use any buffering. I just read byte by byte, searching for the pattern. So, and then after that, I learned how to get stuff that was visual using Allegro. That's really the reason I learned it, because I found a map editor and I kind of wanted to improve it for a game that I liked.
Mm.
But I've always been into programming utilities instead of like games and stuff.
Why were people like, whoa, when you were learning C or C++?
They probably thought I was a stupid 13-year-old. And then they were like, holy shit, he's learning C. And I'm like, yeah, get over it.
How about you, Allefant?
Well,
How did you first discover that programming existed?
the first time I wrote a program must have been when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So this was in 1983, I guess. My parents bought, they borrowed a Schneider CPC, and it had some kind of BASIC on there, and so yes, I programmed a bit in that, and then I really started a few years later on an Amiga.
Cool.
With C. So on the Amiga I started with Amiga Basic, then switched to C, and I kind of stayed with C ever since.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the next question I had was, what were your first tools and languages? So besides the programming languages, did you guys use anything else, like for graphics or other, anything like RPG Maker? Game Maker? Stuff like that?
No, I've never used anything like that.
So have you, either of you, Allefant, you work as a programmer, right?
Yes.
What about you, Sev, the real Sev?
What, you want to know what I do for work?
Well, are you a programmer? Since you
No.
like writing utilities?
I'm the student at next year. They make me do all the dirty work. That's my co-op job for electronic engineering. I haven't gotten an internship yet. Probably not until I transfer.
Mm. So you're currently in college?
Yeah. I decided not to go into programming, though, because I figured I'd learn more new stuff going into something that seemed almost completely new.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff have you worked on that's, since you're not that into game programming, like what kind of tools have you made before?
I don't finish a lot of projects. A lot of the stuff I do is usually scripts for helping out some task I'm performing, basic stuff like that. I haven't gotten a big project done because usually I lose interest long before I reach the end. So I'm hoping that's different with electronics.
It's more physical. You like pay money for things that you're building, so you better finish it. It's a waste of money,
Yeah,
right?
all the stuff I got already cost a fair amount of money.
Yeah. Let's see. What were your early role models, and what games were your inspiration? Or,
Ultima.
just software.
The Ultima games I played a lot. They were actually, if I had not played those games and gotten into the community of people that played those games, I probably would not have learned to program. Because it was my friends there who I knew they knew how to program, and I started learning it, so they were there to help me with that.
Mhm.
So,
What about you, Allefant? Was sort of Fargoal an inspirational game for you?
Not really. Actually, the first time I heard of it was when I made a remake of it. So I hadn't actually known it before that. Uh, but yeah, role model. I like the game on the Amiga by someone called the Bitmap Brothers. I don't think it does much to anyone anymore. But that's who I remember. That's the first game developers I knew by name.
Mhm. Okay, well, what are some of the first games or just programs that you wrote when you were very like learning at the beginning?
Uh,
I'm just gonna open Super Tux Kart right now.
but
she's copping out.
the first game I bought some games before, but the first game actually in a way was Elephant. So the game I got my name from, and it's I bought some games before on the Amiga, but I don't really remember all that much about them, and I lost all the discs with the source code. So kind of the first game I do have is Elephant, and it was also the first time I took part in one of those weekend-long competitions, and I kept doing that ever since. That's actually um, my main mode of writing computer games is those little competitions like Radem there, where I program for a weekend
Mhm.
because I can't really stay focused on a game for much longer than that. And but yeah, that's with the exception of Sword of Argol, where we were three people, I never managed to finish any of my own stuff. So I've written, I think, over 50 of those short competition entries, but no big game.
So, how far along were you with like learning or mastering programming when you were doing sort of Fargoal?
Uh, very far along, I'd say. That was in 2000.
It
I
was
think
quite a
it's
while ago. It was back when I was learning Allegro, and it's like, this is such a cool game.
yes, but I already programmed for like 10 years at that point, so I I wasn't learning anymore. I'd say so. The mm, yes, so no, I wasn't really learning anymore. I I've, I I used C++ for some time a few years earlier, then switched back to C, and I've been
So you're a
programming in C.
Python kid. Don't you use Python a lot these days?
Yes, Python. Yeah, I also use Python. Yes.
Son of John Rafkin.
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yes, I also like Python. It's completely different from C in a way. It's very high level, and yes, I do like it. I started using Python for short shell scripts. C isn't really suited for that because C is all low level and you need some time writing something. And so I learned Python for short shell scripts. And yeah, I've used it for some games because it's faster to write a game in Python. You can just write your code and it runs and you're done. In C, you usually need some time debugging, getting the memory management right, and so on.
So are there any competition games you kind of want to go back to later on? Any ideas that you really liked?
Uh, but I think almost with every competition entry, I think I will go back later to it and finish it and polish it and make it into a complete game. But I never do. Actually, I'd like to go back to the first time I was in one of those Musada competitions, the ASCI one.
Mm-hmm.
I
ski competition. Yeah,
I hope to finish that one.
You should. It looks cool.
Yes, yes. On GitHub and.
So Sev, what have you been doing electronically or
Yes,
like?
I was.
Oh, Elias is
Glitches.
like
The next game.
he's being all fuzzy now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
Cutting it. Let's just talk over him.
Yeah, well, I don't hear him anymore.
So you like to do stuff with motorcycles, right? And then electronical engineering and utility programming. And you said you made
Yeah.
like Pong?
I did not make a Pong, but I did make a Tetris clone. No, Bath had challenged me to make it like one day, just a couple hours, so that's really the only programming project I've ever finished. And I posted it on my website. I polished the graphics a little bit, but the mechanics of the game could probably use some help.
So what do you do? Do you have any hobbies with your electronics engineering stuff?
I would if I knew more about them, but basically I'm just trying to do some simple stuff right now. I have a light that I want to program to turn on to wake me up in the morning, so I added a wire to that, so we'll see if I can find some circuit to set up to make it do that. Probably want to time it from a computer, though.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'll probably think of making a setup so when it gets turned on, like if I have one of those plug timers, then I could make it pulse its own switch and turn itself on.
Okay, let's see. What else do I have here? What are the best and worst things about programming?
The worst thing is that I need a longer attention span.
Do you have any input, Allefant?
Well, the worst thing is that it takes so much time. And the best thing probably is that I can spend all my time with it.
Mm. Oh, how do I accelerate?
Well, let me just get out the Nintendo with the controller I repaired, and I'll start playing some Mario Kart 64.
No, you should download Super Tux Kart and we'll play together.
But I don't have internet.
go to the other computer? The one that you normally, Gimp, you're failing me once again.
You're the gimp. Nice.
How do I connect to Super Duck's card?
I'm not sure. I just clicked single player, so let me go back to the menu. Exit race. There's multiplayer. Is this only local? Challenges.
I don't know. I just installed it. I never played this before.
I figured it would have some sort of. It looks like it might be only local multiplayer, and not even LAN stuff, so we can't like hamachi it.
Okay.
The last question I had here was, what is your programmer fuel? Like, what do you drink or eat while you're working?
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Coca-Cola in my case.
My pop
Whoa.
is better
Guys, look at this character. It's all messed up.
than... What's it supposed to be?
Suzanne the monkey? I don't know what that's a reference of, though. Now I think my Tux card crashed. So, well, this was a very exciting time. Let's all play. What is the browser quest? There, everyone go. Well, you're on phones. Darn it, you phone people. Okay.
Yeah, but Elias is sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
I'm using the phone as camera and microphone.
Well, that's all I really had. I was hoping that some of the people who had requested other times would show up, but oh, hey, Dave.